Have you ever thought, ugh, I can't lose the weight, it's just in my genetics? If that's you, you're not alone. I have heard this so many times. So many women feel stuck with an unlucky DNA, and that leaves you feel powerless. But here is the thing. Science doesn't back that excuse up as much as you would think. In fact, your genetics are only one part of the story, and you have way more control and power over your situation than you think. So here are the chapters for this video. Don't forget that this is also available in podcast. Let's get into it. First, let's talk about the role of genetics, because yes, it does have a little bit of an impact on your weight, but not by much. For example, it plays a role on your metabolism, because some people have a higher metabolism, some people a lower. I don't want to get into a whole, oh, I have a low metabolism, because people who have a high metabolism are always people who are heavier. Your body requires food, requires calories to move you around, and the heavier you are, the harder it is and the more energy it requires. Therefore, if you're heavier, you will need more calories. For example, here are 3 different maintenance for me at 82, 72 and 62 kilos. I didn't change anything but the weight, same height, same age and same level of activity. So this excuse doesn't stand either. That was a quick myth busting here. Genetics also plays a role in your appetite and more importantly in where you store fat. This is why some of you will lose fat first around your stomach, around your thighs, around your arms, around your back. That's the biggest impact that your genes have. But yes, I have read about the FTO gene that has been discovered that would make you more likely to actually be obese. But this is still not a life sentence, still not an excuse. Let's get into that. First of all, according to a few studies, especially this one published in Diabetes, exercise reduces the impact of FTO by up to 30%. That's huge. Now, another study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition shows that exercise combined with a healthy diet will also reduce the chances of genetic predisposition actually acting up. While your genetics have sort of an impact on, as I said, your metabolism, your appetite, where you gain and lose weight, it will not be a life sentence because you still have a huge control with your lifestyle and your daily choices. That's a huge deal because basically you want to see your habits and actions as what will either switch on or off the gene that will be responsible for weight loss and weight gain. This brings us to something that I find really fascinating and that I definitely need to study a little bit more: epigenetics. Epigenetics is basically the study of how your genes are affected by your environment and turned on or off. So this is how your environment and behavior actually influence your genes and their expression without changing the DNA at all, by the way. For example, what you eat, how you move, and how stressed you may feel can impact and express certain genes associated with that. I really want to talk about the Dutch hunger winter study because that's a very powerful and kind of scary example of this. So during World War II, people were starved over a long period of time. Some people were eating 400 to 800 calories a day, that's it. So obviously that means that their body went into famine mode where they would decrease the metabolism, and those changes were passed down to the babies of the people who went through that period of famine. So they would be born with the on switch for low metabolism and storing more fat. Some even had diabetes or heart conditions. So even if they did not directly experience that, the fact that their ancestors or at least their parents lived that actually had an impact on their genes as well. And this tells you that genes are not fixed, and things that happen in your life will not only impact your genes and their expressions, but also the ones of your offspring. So that means that to an extent you have more control than you think. Now here is something I really want you to consider when it's about this gene of obesity and how that would make it inevitable for you to gain and stay fat. Why would it exist in the first place? Because from an evolutionary perspective, this doesn't add up. It is not in our advantage to actually carry excess fat that much. Think about it. For most of our history, survival depending on being efficient with energy. Sure, we needed to store fat in our body for when periods of famine came around, but obesity, that makes no sense. Being overweight would actually make it harder for you to hunt, gather food, or even escape predators. So an obesity gene would not make sense for our survival. Because obviously, if you have to run really, really fast to escape a tiger or whoever is after you, it's a bit more difficult if you carry a lot of weight. Our DNA still evolves over thousands of years. So the obesity epidemic isn't really about your genes more than it is about our lifestyle. The shift didn't have enough time yet to actually get through to you, especially not on an evolutionary scale. So the idea that we've developed a genetic predisposition generation to be obese within just a few generations doesn't add up. What has changed isn't our DNA, but our environment. We have so many processed food present around us in abundance. We have desk jobs that prevent us to get the steps and exercise we need throughout the day. So it's really not your genes that are holding you back. It is literally the way we live. And this is how we tie this back to epigenetics, because while our genes have haven't fundamentally changed, the way they're expressed can be influenced by our environment. This is a tough fucking video. That's something you can control, because if it's not your genes that are preventing you from getting to your dream body, what is? Most often, it's your mindset. I've made few videos about it, but it's easier to attribute weight struggle to something outside of your control rather than actually taking accountability for, yes, I could have done this, I should do that. And trust me, I get it, it's tough. Change is tough. But believing that your genetics are the only reason why you can't lose the weight is a limiting belief. One of my favorite authors, Dr. Joe Dispenza, does talk about how your beliefs actually shape your reality. So if you believe that you cannot lose the weight because of your genetics, how likely are you to try and go to the gym or even do any type of workout and eat healthier? Very, very, very low. Your action will always match your belief. So if you don't believe that you can get it, you're not going to act as if you could, because why bother? So if you change your beliefs, that will change your behavior. This is why I'm making this video in the first place, to show you and take one of the most common limiting beliefs that I've heard and just say, this is not possible. You have this, you have control over this. Sure, it means hard work, you're going to be sweaty, sore, you're going to be a bit tired, maybe a little bit hungry as well. It's uncomfortable, but it is within your control. Now, all of this isn't woo-woo talk, by the way. It is actually grounded in neuroscience. When you constantly challenge your limiting beliefs from I can't lose weight because of this and actually change it for oh, I can lose weight because, you actually rewire your brain and change the neural pathways. Over time, as I've said, it's going to transpire in your habits because you're just going to believe that you're someone who can lose the weight and can be healthy and can exercise, and that's when it happens. It's all start in your mind and your beliefs, then your actions, and then it will actually transpire in reality. So what's the next step? How to take control of your genetics and your mindset. First of all, watch this video, it will help. Second of all, watch this video, it will help. But let me give you a little bit of a breakdown of what you should do, especially if you want to lose the weight, 20 pounds, 90 days that you will not gain back. First, you want to calculate a healthy calorie deficit, 10 to 15%. It's easier to eat within a range. On any calorie calculator online, calculate your maintenance, and then on your phone, minus 10%, minus 15%. You can track that on MyFitnessPal. I know it feels like a learning curve and it feels like a chore, but trust me, it's actually going to help you make your life more flexible because you will not be restricted by a very strict meal plan. You will be able to eat everything you like in moderation, go out, and so on. Second thing is focus on a high protein intake that keeps you fuller for longer. It actually burns more calories to eat more protein, and it will also help you end up lean and toned instead of skinny fat. Now, as I said, you want to get moving because exercise isn't just about calories. As I said, it will also help with your genetics and genetic predisposition to store maybe a little bit more fat. So overall, exercise will help with your metabolism, especially weightlifting. Manage stress. Now, the problem with the cortisol phase and cortisol body trend is that it makes you blame stress as to why you are a little bit more bloated and why you are maybe gaining weight. No. Stress can activate genes that promote fat storage, but don't attribute everything to that. Yes, you want to control your stress levels, but it doesn't play that big of a role in how much weight you may carry around. And last, sleep well. I keep talking about how important sleep is, and I'm fairly sure I don't actually have a YouTube video about that. We need to change that, but sleep is at the start of everything. When you don't sleep, you don't want to work out, you don't want to eat healthy, you are going to be hungrier and eat a little bit of everything, especially the processed food. Now, don't forget the mental work. Hopefully this video actually helps you debunk this big limiting belief, but I'm sure that it's not the only one that you have. So look at the limiting beliefs that you may have around weight gain and weight loss and try to actually rewire those. Now, if you need a little bit of help to lose 20 pounds within 90 days without starving yourself, spending hours doing cardio every single day, without saying goodbye to your favorite food and your social life, and of course, without getting the weight back, I highly suggest you book a free consultation call with me below. It's completely free just to see if and how I can help you, and if I can, I will 100% welcome you into my program. Again, I've done it myself, my clients are also doing it, so why not you? And that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. This is the last video of the year. I'm so excited, or maybe not, depending on when I decide to release everything, but this is my last content day. So yeah, if you like this video, like, subscribe, comment, share, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.